Hey, I wanted to, and it's late because I wanted to get like a real feel for the season. Because after that placement matches video, I would play occasionally, at least once a day, but most of the time it was just quick play. And after doing that, I'm blowing through matches. I'm having a much better time. And now that I've gotten higher up towards where I typically peak, towards where I typically finish the seasons, I figured now I would have a better understanding of how to do this. So if you haven't guessed, this guy is gonna make a tier list. Will it be bad? Probably. I mean, I play casually, so this is just from my casual experience how I feel about these characters. So, um, I'm gonna do tanks first. That's too much work. Okay. So, Strange. I'm gonna put him there. I mean, I still have success with Strange. I think he's good. He's just not. He's not like the other ones. He's not Emma. He's not Groot. He's not Mag. But he's not bad. He's surely not bad. Um, that being said, I think Groot's new buff is really good. Puts him at the top. I'm gonna do this because now that I'm thinking farther in advance, what I'm gonna do with this. Yeah. So I think Groot's new buff, making him unstoppable, is really good, but it does kind of slow down his playstyle a little bit because where in the past used to put down the Ironwood wall behind tanks, and now the supports and DPS have to burst through 800 health in order to save their tank. Your team could easily kill a tank or two tanks in that time. You're more often going to try and hide that wall because CC is very prevalent this season. There's so many characters as CC. If I ever try and play dive or play more aggressive, most of the time I just get CC'd into oblivion. Bucky, Emma. Oh my god, dude, there's so much in this game. CC creep is real as fuck, and so you kind of want to hide that wall so that way you don't get CC'd as much, which means you don't have it for offense, and you only have those two grass walls. He's still really good, especially now that he's not able to be CC'd most of the time that you're playing him. But because you have to play a little slower to get the full advantage of that, you don't have as many walls. I don't think he's as good. Cap, I think, is right there with Strange. He's probably better than Strange. He's good. He doesn't have a lot of damage, so he's like when I said, oh, I want more sustained dive. He is that. He's the sustained dive I talked about. The only problem is, in this game, damage and healing is so strong. Most of the time, if there's a cap on me or on my team, all I have to do is tank, or when I'm playing support or DPS, you just kind of back up a little bit, take care of the cap, and keep going. He doesn't really do much, but his ultimate is so good because the enhanced generation time, like, you'll play Cap Gambit and you almost always have ult. If there's a Cap or a Gambit on the enemy team, it can be such a slog because they always have ultimates. I don't think Hulk's very good. He just doesn't have any team ups to make him worth playing. Like, for Strange, you can play the Magic and the Scarlet team up. Like, they're not the best things, but it's something that's there. I think, yeah, I think he has good team ups. I think Groot has a good team up with Mantis and Loki. I don't think Hulk really has anything that makes him more viable. While his buff was really good, it's probably the most tame of the tank buffs that happened in this season. I just don't think he has it. At least not at my rank. Maybe all the good Hulk players have already moved on and I just can't do it. But you just kind of hit him with a CC or push him, and he has to run away because too many people look at him when he jumps the back line. So there's that. Mag, easy yes. You play aggressive, you play off. Sorry, you play aggressive, you play defensive, you're in a movable wall. Now you have a bubble for yourself and for your teammate. You no longer have to choose who you're saving. It is just crazy good all the time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, what are you gonna do about him? He's so good. He has that new team up with Gambit, and spoiler warning, but Gambit is really good. So what are you going to do? Gambit's always charging his ult, which means you always get to take out a support ult. He is so valuable. But people don't ban him, right? I think people don't ban him because you need him, right? Because if they play something, you gotta play Mag in response. There's a lot of things that they play that are really oppressive that you just kind of have to play Mag to deal with. So he's a necessary evil in this season. I think it's really interesting that he's probably the best or the second best tank in the game, and almost never gets banned. So next for the tanks, Penny. I'm putting Penny in B, below Strange. Um, you may have heard, I like Penny Parker. I think Penny Parker is probably my favorite hero in this game. It just makes sense to me. I like that idea of a lockdown hero. Her buff this season is very, very good. Makes Penny so incredibly good and annoying on maps that Penny was already good at. Didn't do much to make Penny good on maps that they weren't good on to begin with. But if you did that, like I've said it a few times, I think if you buff Penny in a way that makes her good on maps that she isn't good on already, then she's broken on the maps that she was already good on, and she's just really good in general. Because right now, Penny has a really good niche if you play triple tank, because just you can flank, you can shut off angles, you can shut off the point in convergence or domination. You can do so many things. You just get the freedom to run around, flank, do whatever you want, lock down wherever you want as Penny, especially if you have the especially if you have the rocket team up. So I think Penny's fine where they are. They're not meta, but you know, it's good. Now, Thor. I'm putting Thor in top of B. Let me do that. I think because I think Strange can be played in more scenarios than Cap. A lot of times Cap is gonna get countered or so even though Strange isn't as impactful, especially now that there's Gambit with his CC cleanse and there's so much CC in the game to stop him from ulting, I do think that he's more malleable than Cap. Cap is kind of like not played that often. At least in my rank, he's not played that often, and when he is, he's not really a big nuisance. So I think we're going to put him there. But I think Thor is good, and I know he's good on paper. I've seen him do really good when my friend plays. Sometimes he plays Thor, and he eats up. But there's a lot of times I'll get a Thor on my team, and they just don't do that good, or Thor on the enemy team, and they just can't keep up. And maybe it's just the comps that we were running those specific games, but I don't see him very often. And when I do, he either eats up or he doesn't. And that's all there is. Like, there's no real in-between with it. And so I just think I'm going to put him in B. Venom, I think that's A tier. Venom is so good. There's so many, like, dives in, has 2 health bars. So at the end of the day, they have 1,700 health, technically, because of their E. And then they can quick dive out, slam the front line, play on front line, get healing, and go right back in. And by the time that you get them low enough, they have their extra health bar again. I've seen Venoms go not dying. Like, I'll play Mag, and I'll die like 3 times in the game. Even if it's an easy sweep, maybe I die once. The Venom just doesn't die. Everyone on our team will have like 5 deaths, and Venom won't have any. They're just so mobile, so hard to kill. Their ult is incredibly strong, especially after that 30% healing reduction. I don't know why they ever changed it or got rid of it. I think Venom is just super, super strong right now. If I had to guess... Actually, I was going to say if I had to guess, I think they'll nerf him. But I think after this most recent patch that they're not going to be doing like nerfs to the top few tanks. They're just going to buff all the other tanks, because that's what they did in the last patch. Well, outside of the mag buff, they buffed pretty much every tank but Emma and Venom. So yeah, I think that's the route they're gonna go. I don't know. I think Venom is still really, really good, really strong, and can be really oppressive. So, I mean, he's not as malleable as Groot or Strange or anyone else that I put up here where they can be played into anything. Sometimes you just have to swap off Venom. But, like, he's so good. It's nasty, because you can play him into anything, but he's not really going to get the job done on everything. Unlike where, like, I think Cap, you can't really play him into some comps. You could play Venom there. And though you wouldn't be doing as good as you were if you were on, let's say, Mag or Emma, I still think he can be played in that, and it's going to be goated. And I think that's crazy. Speaking of Emma, we're going to rank the thing, and he's in last. And his buff was really good. Don't get me wrong, I like the thing buff, but at the end of the day, it does not help against anything. Right? So giving your whole team, giving your everybody in a certain radius damage reduction is really good, except for the fact that they lowered the damage reduction. And then the vulnerability thing is really good too. That part I think is really good. His problem is he has a hard time keeping uptime on either the vulnerability or the damage reduction. And so let's look. Penny farms him. Adam can farm him. Hawkeye farms. Hela farms him. He farms him. That's an easy ult farm. That's an easy ult farm. These two obliterate him immediately. You just point and click. Also, as well, another just a big ass onk for you. Psylocke farms. He farms. Rocket can farm him. Squirrel Girl, Star Lord, Storm, Scarlet Witch, Buckeye, Buckeye, Bucky, Wolverine. There's so many characters in this game that just point and click and he drops dead. Every time I see someone pull out Thing, they're like, oh, it's last fight, everyone's going to be on cart, I can get the overhealth. And while that was a really good change and it makes him really good, he's still super farmable. If I'm on any tank that's not Mag, I would say. Mag probably struggles the most because he shoots the slowest. Unless I have a Gambit, then I just pop the team up. But if I'm on any tank that's not Mag, and if I am playing Mag and I don't have the team up, I just farm him. He just dies like instantly. No matter how much healing you put into him, he's just a brick wall that you shoot at and he goes down. And that's why I think he's so bad, because it didn't fix that problem. That was his only problem in my eyes. Literally, before his buffs, I thought, wow, Thing is good. He just, one, doesn't really do that much damage. Like, every tank in the game out-damages him by a long shot. And then two, well, you just point and click. You just look at him and shoot and he falls. He crumbles. I tried playing him in the first couple of days of the season because I pretty much only play him in quick match. I don't want to throw my competitive games. And, you know, I just fall and I crumble and I die instantly and like that. And it is what it is. There's not much you can do about that. On the other sense, Emma's the GOAT. Still really strong. I don't think there's anything you can do to nerf Emma without making Emma really, really bad. I think that's just something we have to live with, that Emma's going to be super oppressive. I think if anything, you get rid of her defensive abilities, because right now she's really good at W keying and like just out of position, diamond form, they're dead. Someone dives your backline, diamond form, they're dead. And then when that's not happening, farm your beam on a tank, and then look at someone else, that someone else is probably going to die because you have 100% on your beam. The only thing that's a lackluster about Emma right now is obviously they nerfed the diamond form, so there's an extra 3 seconds. They nerfed that a while ago, so like people have learned to play around it now. But the ult, that's the only thing that's kind of lackluster, because you can avoid it pretty easily with shields, corners, just turning around or shooting her. Sometimes I'll pop my ult and I'll go on an off angle to make sure that I can get all of them so they can't go around a wall without having to go to my team. Everyone just looks at me, I die instantly, and you know, it is what it is. I made space for my team, but now they're in a 5v6, so unless someone was able to capitalize off of it, it was for nothing. And I think that's actually fine. I think it's fine that Emma has a bad ultimate. Well, not bad, but a lackluster ultimate, because everything else in their kit is not a lackluster. Yeah, so that is my opinion on where all the tanks line up, and I'm looking at the video thing right here, and it's striking me that I'm yapping a lot, so I'm going to record this in multiple parts. That way you can only watch your opinions on whatever I think my opinions are on certain things. So that ends the tank segments. Wet Willy! Hey, I'm back. Hopefully you saw the last one, so that way this makes sense to you. All my opinions on why I ranked them there are in that one. But if you only care about how I think about the strategists, then this is the video for you, because I'm going to go through and rank all the strategists in where I think they go. And once again, disclaimer, I play casually. This is my opinions on how I feel about the characters in a more casual sense. So yeah, take everything with a grain of salt. This is not pro play that I'm like comparing it to. These are my like diamond GM games. I'm not in GM yet, but I'm almost there. So Adam Warlock is first on our chopping block. I'm putting him solidly in B. Yeah, because I think he's really, really fine. Sometimes you play against a really good Adam Warlock and they're constantly hitting headshots and hitting with the right click, and they're healing. They out-healed a Luna in one of our games, and they'll have team res every single fight. And that's super annoying, but at the same time, you can get more done with a lot of the other supports, and they have better ultimates, and they have better util than the Soul Bond. So that's kind of my opinion. I don't think he's bad. I just don't think he's meta. That's pretty much it. Cloak and Dagger. I'm putting Cloak and Dagger in A. They are still very, very good. They have the longest support ultimate in the game. The support ultimate also... They have the longest support ultimate in the game, and it also damages them, which means you do this vulnerability, and then they just explode because they're standing on damage ticking, and they're getting hit by Cloak and Dagger, and they're getting hit by the entire team. It just is what it is. But I don't think they're S tier anymore, and that is because Mag is still S tier. Now that Mag is in the game, and Gambit is really good, so Gambit boosts Mag's ult generation, so Mag will always have ult when you do, and the new sword team up, he'll always have that, just farms ult so quickly. He has ult so quickly, so you just die. You die pretty fast. So I think they're good, but I think their ult kind of gets shut down, and they're pretty much... Their healing isn't as fast as the other supports that I'm putting up here, but their utility is way better, and that's what I'm trying to say. Next is Jeff. I think Jeff is S tier. For being so for real. He's a terrorist, dude. I love him. I play him so often. I think he's great. He's really good at this game. You just stand there, you shoot down main. If you get really good, you can become really impossible to kill. Unless I'm taken completely by surprise, I almost never die, as long as my team is still alive. If my team all dies, then I have like multiple people shooting at me, and then I have a higher tendency to die. But you can like never die on Jeff sometimes, and it's insane. And then all of that, and you're healing everybody at once, and you're damaging their team, bursting through shields and any utility that they have, damaging supports. It's only like 20 damage per second after all the fall off, I think. But that's still pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. Because at the very least, it forces them to use their defensive abilities, and then they don't have it for later. And if they force those out early, then the dive gets to just have their way with them. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, there's not much to say about him. I'm putting Loki there. He does less damage than he used to, because that was kind of his whole shtick, that he could do a lot of damage and a lot of healing, and it was pretty oppressive. And I liked when they reduced the amount of damage and healing that his clones did by 80%. I thought that was fine, but then they gave him the fall off. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of not needed, right? And then they reduced the fall off that he had and gave him an incentive for hitting direct hits. I think you give that same directive to his... Gave him a something that they rewarded him for hitting. I don't remember what I was going to say originally. They rewarded him for hitting direct hits. I think you give that same reward to damage that you have on healing, and in return, I think you, and then lower the fall off damage, but reduce the clones to maybe 75, so that way he doesn't have fall off, but it's only 75 from the clones, and then the extra 10 or 5 for damage and healing only on direct hits. I think that's good because it rewards good aim. He still has everything that makes him Loki, and his clones aren't as oppressive, because sometimes the clones would just do so much damage and so much pressure. I think that would be fine. That actually, if you do the numbers, that might make him more broken. I don't know. I don't think he's as good because his clones aren't as good, but his lamps are good. With the Mantis team up, his lamps are even better. I think he's A tier after his buff, especially with the extra 10 healing. He doesn't feel as strong as he used to, and so I don't play him as much, but I do think he's still fairly good. Luna Snow, I'm putting here. I used to tell you Luna was, well, not you, I only started doing this recently. I used to say Luna was the best support in the game, hands down. But now, the other supports just have so much more utility. At least the other ones I'm going to put in A, because like Invis and Gambit are super, super strong. Even Cloak and Dagger has more util that helps the team. And Luna just doesn't have any of that. She has the claps, but that's just boosted healing for the most part. It just kind of boosts the amount of healing that Luna does. Luna heals the most, and probably has the second strongest support ult. But it's just not, when the other supports will heal just as much or more depending on how long the game goes on. Like Luna has the fastest is what I mean by the best. Like will burst people up super super fast. No shot. It's just the most in that way. But Invis, for example, can heal through people, so heal multiple people at a time, so they heal more, and they heal the team more, and they have more util. They have the shield, they have the shift, the bubble that not only grounds, but it also slows enemies and does damage, and then the push that pushes or pulls and interrupts movement abilities. Like, when you can do the same amount of healing with so much more util, there's no reason to play the only healing person. But it is what it is. I'm glad to see Luna's off the throne, if we're being so for real. Mantis. I'm putting Mantis above Adam, honestly. And I know Mantis is really good at higher ranks. I know that. But when I play with a Mantis, nobody ever wants to play triple support with a Mantis. I think Mantis is incredible in triple support, but no one ever wants to play triple support with a Mantis in my ranks. They always want to play double support, and it's never enough healing, because the characters that are really good are like Moon Knight gets played a lot, like characters like Moon Knight, or characters that just do a lot of damage like Bucky get played a lot in these games and just can't heal enough. But in triple support, they're really, really good. The team up with Loki and Groot is really good, so that's a really good reason to play them. I think they're good, just not in double support, or at least not in my ranks. I don't see them performing very well. Rocket, I'm putting in A tier. Yeah, I'm putting Rocket in A tier. He's at the bottom. He doesn't. His revive, most of the time, revives you just to die again. And so that's not very fun. And it's not very good either. But he's super survivable. He has a really good damaging gun, and his healing is fine. And then the team up with Penny makes him really good on the maps that Penny's really good on. It's just, you know, are you playing in the right comp, and are you playing in the right map? Alright, so Invis, we already talked about it. Heals just as much, if not more than Luna. Has so much util, does more damage now. She shoots faster. She has the best ult in the game that slows you down on the way in, keeps you slowed while you're inside of it, slows you down on your way out. She has like 3 other slowdowns. She can now shield herself, which gives her a wall to play around. Not only just a wall, but a wall that heals her. Insane work. It is crazy, crazy, crazy. Ultron's the next guy. I, like when Ultron first came out, I was like, oh, why would you ever play Ultron? Just play Adam, because that's when Adam got the headshot buff as well. It's like if you are really good with hit scan, and you'd be playing Ultron from range, so you have to be good with hit scan. Just play Adam because you do healing. Because Ultron was only good in triple support. You do the healing. You have the soul bond. And sure, your ult might not be as good, but you do more. You can do more healing if you're hitting your shots. You do have a better utility for the team, and you do more damage. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. I couldn't find the words. Like if you take it in the practice range, Adam does more damage and more consistently. And now that Ultron's healing goes down, and his healing is worse, which means everything else is worse, because you kind of played him for passive healing, and he could harass the backline or harass DPS. He doesn't really have the damage to kill super fast. His damage isn't as good as Mantis or Adam or Rocket or Loki or Luna. And he doesn't heal as much as them either. And his shields are practically worthless. The right-click shields. So there's really just no reason to play him, and he even charges his ult slower, because his really best thing, in my opinion, was that you would get ult first almost every fight, and then that's an easy pick. Like every other fight you had ult, you could use it first, you get an easy pick, but now you can't even do that, so yikes. And last, but not least, Gambit. Gambit, I said in another video that I don't think he's good for the lifespan of the game, because there's no reason to play a DPS. Like, let's say you're playing Invis and Luna. You could pick any of the... You could pick any of the DPS that are right here. But why would you? Because you could just play Gambit. Gambit is much more flexible than any of those DPS. You can do the same amount of damage and heal, and that's pretty crazy. And if you're doing damage and healing, I've seen Gambit go most damage in the lobby, most healing in the lobby. You have anti-CC, you have a healing bounce that even if you're not the one doing the healing, it'll increase the amount of healing that all those people get for your main supports. And then you have your Spade stack that is a CC and an anti-heal. So if you are playing 2 supports and you know how to play Gambit, there's no real reason for you not to pick Gambit, especially if Mag is in the game or if Emma's in the game, because your ult will farm, not your ult, well yes, your ult will increase the amount of damage she does. A full damaging beam plus the Gambit, dude, I melt people so fast when Gambit ults and I'm in it. Like, it's crazy. I think he is so good, but at the same time, I don't ever feel like he's oppressive. Right? He is probably the best or second best. I'm kind of debating whether I should move them or not, but he's the best or second best support in the game. And yet I don't feel like he's oppressive. When they're playing him and we're not, it does not feel like, oh, it's an instant lose unless we choose Gambit. Like, it used to be that way with certain supports, but now it doesn't. And so I'm kind of just thinking, I don't know. I really don't know what to think about this guy. Because on one hand, I think he's going to get nerfed pretty heavily. At least, like, how good he is at doing everything. He should be, in my opinion, I think he should be slightly worse. So that way, like, you play him as a flex, and he's not the best at everything, but he can do it, you know? Jack of all trade, master of none kind of deal. But now he kind of just does everything. At this point in the game, he just does everything. He does everything really well. So he's super good. and he enables so much. He's a playmaker. You can ult at the beginning of the fight and change and just win the fight instantly, or you could ult towards the middle or the end of the fight and turn the tides. Like, he makes plays for his team. He opens the space for more things to happen, or you can, I've seen people heal bot with him, and you can do that too, and it's successful, and they do get a lot of damage as well. They'll heal bot with Gambit and still do crazy good damage and have like 9 final hits at the end of the game, and that's crazy. So yeah, that's my opinion on the strategist. And Angela. Wet Willy. Hey, so I'm going to now rank the duelists in this game, and bear with me now. I have the least understanding of this category. I play them sometimes, not the most. I'm not very good at it. I'm better at tank and support. Well, I do play them sometimes. So I understand that this one might be a little divisive on where I place people, because I don't quite get it. Or at least more divisive than this has already been for some of them. Yeah. I don't know if there's much to talk about it for that. She just kind of doesn't do anything. Sometimes she pops off if your Widow's really, really good. But, like, for the amount that Widow's doing, Hela can just pop. Hawkeye can just pop. And Widow has to do all this stuff and isn't even that good at it. Like, I understand that Widow can't one-shot or it's sniper meta, but we already have kind of pseudo-sniper meta with Hawkeye and Hela. So, yeah. It's just unfortunate, because I think Widow could be super cool. And I don't know if I like the leaning into the strategist for her, if I'm being honest. Because I feel like people are saying, yes, they're leaning into her being a strategist, and we'll have a pseudo-strategist as Widow. I think you could just buff the rest of her kit. Or honestly, what I want to happen is if you shoot while not scoped in, you reload like maybe 5% faster. So that way it encourages Widow to be jumping around, shooting, being mid-range, and then when taking longer shots, scoping in for that. Because the only benefit you get from scoping in is also, well, one, you get zoom in, but two, you get no fall off. If you don't if you don't scope in, you just still get fall off. And so I think making Widow a mid-range sniper with long-range capabilities is better than a long-range one-shot sniper, which they can't make and they won't make. So, yeah, I just don't think they're very good right now. I think Iron Fist is really good. He's super fast. He can heal himself, so you don't know where he's gonna come from. Like when you, let's say you hurt him and he runs away. He doesn't have to come from where health pack is. So for the most part, when I'm playing strategist or tank, even because he's really good at tank busting now, you would know where he's gonna come from. Certain off angles, like there's a health pack in there that he went to run and get, which means he could come from any of these windows. Well, you do that with other characters, sorry. But with Iron Fist, you don't really know, because he could run into a building without a health pack, heal, and then come from behind if he wants to. Like, it's harder to track him because he can heal wherever he wants, including the middle of the air. So if I'm not looking in certain spots, if I don't look like everywhere, sometimes I miss him, and then he comes from me from that direction, and I just wasn't ready for it. He's also just, I said, super mobile. He has the CC, he has the dash. The block is super annoying. It blocks everything, whether it does damage or not. He's completely CC immune. He doesn't have to time it. It's just hold the button down and then get super strong when it ends. Oh my god, dude. But I don't think he's broken. As much as I kind of hate him, I don't think he's broken. BP. I'm putting down here. I don't think BP got like worse as it went on. I just don't think you get as much value playing BP as you used to. You know, like you can't get away with one-shot combos on BP anymore. And since all the supports, like I have most of the supports in A or above, they're all very good. One can stop you, two can stop you, three can stop you, four can stop you, five can stop you, six can stop you. This one just gets away. This one can stop you. That one will struggle a little more if they can't aim as well. This guy you probably can't even get. Like, he just doesn't get the same value because none of the supports are very susceptible to it. And so I don't think he's good. I think he needs reworked in some fashion to make him fine. But if they rework him, then all the people who played Black Panther before will feel isolated, like they lost their character, and I get that. People who played Jeff, I played Jeff beforehand, before he got changed, so the same thing happened. I much prefer how he is now, because when I play Jeff, I don't play Jeff to, like, fiend on the back line. I did it a few times, but I was never super good at it with Jeff. I preferred to sit and heal people. So, like, I like how he is now, but I understand that, like, you essentially lost the character you liked to play. And so that's very off-putting for people. So while I would like to see a Black Panther rework, I don't think it will happen. Now, Hawkeye, bam. He is so oppressive. Like, if there's a Hawkeye in the game and he is hitting shots, he doesn't even have to hit headshots. It's just so good. He 3-taps Groot, I think. I think it's either a 3-tap or nearly a 3-tap. I tested it once just to see how much damage he was doing with that extra damage boost they gave him, and it's just, wow. The amount of times I'm playing against a Hawkeye, I'm not dying to the Hawkeye, and I don't know if they headshot me or what, but huge just chunks of my health as tank just go out, and I have to immediately back up, because even if he doesn't hit headshots, if I get in the way of a shot that was meant for a support, that's so much damage that's coming to me. I don't know how to fix it. They've tried so much. He's either been meta or bad. And then he has the vulnerability, dude. If you play him with Cloak and Dagger and you get that vulnerability, it's infinite. It hits everybody. It does vulnerability and healing, so you heal all your allies, even just a little bit. But the point is, you get vulnerability on most of the team unless they block it. But you can just wait out a shield, especially if it's Mag. Since Mag is played way more than Strange is, you just wait out the shield. Or if they're not playing Mag, you don't have to wait out anything. You just use that off cooldown and you can blow through it every time they get vulnerable. And, like, what are you going to do about that? I think Hela's really good. I'm going to put her an S for now. I don't think they're the best in the game, but they are very, like, they're not oppressive like Hawkeye is, but very good. Just the ability to 2-tap anybody from any range. Not anybody. The ability to 2-tap a lot of supports and everything from any range, even though they just buffed your health, Cloak and Dagger. So I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, actually, they buffed a lot of health. That's how I'm going to do it. And this tier list is already top heavy, but I think that's good. I think most of the characters in this game, like all the tanks, are viable and playable. All the supports, most of the supports are viable and playable. Like Mantis is viable, Mantis is playable. Actually, I know in higher ranks with better Mantis players, Mantis is really good. I know Adam is viable because I've won games with Adam Luna this season. The only one that I don't think is viable is Ultron. Most of the tanks are viable. Most of the supports are viable. I think most of the DPS are viable, and so he's just, yeah. I don't think you're the best character in the game, but I think they're good. Iron Man, I'm putting in C tier. Iron Man's good for splash damage, hitting the supports. If you're playing against a Penny, I'll often see them go Iron Man and they'll focus backline, but the splash kills the nests too, and so that's very good for their team. But he's so chunky, and his only way to move faster is in a straight line. Not in a straight line, it's directly forward. Like, you can't move backwards fast. You have to go forward and turn around. And so he's super chunky, like, model-wise, he's beefy, and he's clunky. and so he just kind of gets shot down a lot. And so I just don't think he's that good. He's good in very specific situations, but not all the time. I think magic is really, really good. Not really, really good, but good. They haven't changed since the last time the buff came in. The recent buffs on the other heroes, I don't think has like changed the game enough to where magic isn't at least viable. And that's pretty much my opinion on it. I see her played a lot. I see her get a lot of value sometimes, though I do see her get shut down a lot sometimes. It just depends. I think magic is fairly good. I think Moon Knight, yeah, I'm going to do that. Because I think Moon Knight is not as good as Hela. But Moon Knight's really good. Just the sheer amount of damage that you can do, having two great clicks to throw, really good on a flank, really good at just farming down main. Dude, I played against the two characters that I hate playing against are Moon Knight and Squirrel Girl because they have ults like every fight or every other fight. Sometimes they'll have it like 1.5 fights midway through the second fight. They'll get it in the first fight, midway through the second fight, they almost have it again, and at the end of that fight, they'll have it again. Like, they have it by the end, and they just save it for the next round. Because, oh my god, it is so... It's just so annoying. Now that we're talking about Squirrel Girl, I'm putting her in C. She doesn't really have a niche. I think she's annoying. Like I said, it's always annoying to play against a Squirrel Girl, whether I'm on tank or support, because if they're missing my tanks and my DPS, then it's hitting you as a support. And I say missing and not aiming for you, because we both know Squirrel Girls don't do that. They miss, and it just hits people anyways. And that's really annoying. And then ults all the time is really annoying. I saw an opinion where they wanted Squirrel Girl to have like increased damage towards shields and objects, and I think that's good. I think you just add fall off damage and make fall off damage per bounce and not by distance. That way it rewards you for getting direct hits instead of just hitting the ground or hitting people off walls. Getting direct hits is more rewarded, but you're not necessarily punished for an acorn bouncing. Like if you miss and an acorn hits someone, it doesn't necessarily punish you for that, but it rewards direct hits. I think that's good. And then yeah, I think giving Squirrel Girl the ability to kind of mess up utility, so like increase damage to penny mines, increase damage to shields, and bonus health, I think that's fine. It would give her more of a niche, that's for sure. I just don't think she really fits anywhere, because what Squirrel Girl does, Moon Knight does better, right? And so that's kind of where I stand on that. Namor, I think Namor's good. He can be played into anything. I'm gonna put him there. He can be played into anything, against anything. He's not like, everyone says he kills dives super fast. Whenever I play with a Namor, the Namor doesn't seem to like shut down the dive by himself. I don't know if my Namors are bad or if Namor in general at my rank is bad, but even on the enemy team, if we're diving the enemy team, he doesn't seem to shut it down. You still need other heroes like Penny and Emma to shut down the dive, but I don't think he's bad, so I still think he's really good. Does a lot of damage. The tridents move faster now, so it's easier to hit shots. You don't have to lead as much. The squids are bonus damage, and then hitting headshots makes them go turbo mode. I think he's just good. Psylocke, you're going there. Still super strong. Still, like, worse. The ult alone makes her S tier, because you can just farm that off tanks from the safety of behind your own, dash through and delete both supports. Like, worst case scenario, you're the worst Psylocke player ever, you can do that. And I think that's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why they buffed her ult. It was so... I don't know why. Punisher, I, again, don't think he has a really good niche. He's fine. He's good. He's playable. His shotgun's still strong. He's still good at just whittling down people's health with the AR, but it's just like... You could play Moon Knight. Or Hela. Like, if you're good at Punisher, just play Hela. That's my opinion on him. I think he's good. I think he's viable, but I don't think he offers anything that makes him stand out or make him better. Spider-Man, I think is C. While I think some Spider-Men are really good, it's also situational based on the map because he kind of relies on that pull-off based on your team comp and their team comp. It's so situational, and like it's so situational the amount of value you get out of him. You're better off playing something like Psylocke, where you'll get value every single time. You could play Iron Fist and get value every single time, no matter the team comps. You can always get value on those two characters. Star-Lord, I think is A tier. I think he's good. I think he's super mobile. He does a lot of damage. He bursts people down. The rolls for iframes are super annoying when you're trying to kill him. I think he's very good. His ult's pretty good. Everything about him is great. He's just not good, you know? I think the same thing about Storm. The damage boost took her to where she was when she was permabanned, right? And I thought that would make, I thought everyone would be playing her. She would be a permaban again. But because of the power creep of this game, putting her at the point where she was permabanned in this stage of the game really doesn't feel that oppressive. It just kind of doesn't. I don't know why that is, as much as I just know that it is. So yeah. Scarlet, I'm gonna put there because the team up with Strange makes them fairly good, fairly decent at at least bursting people down. Then again, with same thing with Squirrel, just doesn't really have a niche that they fit into nicely. They're very good at countering dive. That's what most people use her for. Sorry, I'm scratching a bug bite. I should stop. Very good at countering dive. That's what most people use her for. But it's just, you know, you could just use other characters for it. And that's my opinion on Scarlet Witch. But I understand why Scarlet is not the greatest in the game, because if Scarlet was the best character in the game, it would not take a lot of effort to get that value. And so I think it's fine where they are. Bucky's S tier. I don't care what anyone says. He has 8 million CCs. He 2-shot supports up close, 3-shot supports from a distance. It is insane work. He has the pull, his orb, the Trooper's Fist. It slows everyone down and pierces and does damage and grounds flyers. And he has the dash. I think that one's called Trooper Fist, actually. But whatever. He has the dash that not only pushes you, so it's a displacement, but it also gets rid of all your movement abilities for 1 second. Oh my god, dude. If I get pulled by Bucky on certain tanks or on certain DPS or supports, I'm just kind of done. I'm dead. There's not much you can do. Because he's just going to pull you, shoot you, push you, shoot you again. And if the rest of the team isn't looking at you, you might be able to survive. If people on your team are constantly healing you through that, you can survive. But otherwise, you're kind of just dead. And he's just so strong. Played almost every single game I play this. Wolverine, I think he's A tier. He just has the ability to... They made his base form better, and then lowered the cooldown back to what it was before his nerf for his jump. But like I said with Storm, it kind of doesn't make him the most broken character in the game. Also, since Iron Fist is kind of just better at his job. So while he's not bad, Iron Fist is more mobile and still does the tank buster thing, and can live longer than Wolverine can. Though I don't think Wolverine's bad. I think he's very good. I think you can, if you're really good at Wolverine, I think you can still run lobbies. But you gotta be that guy. Otherwise, he's just kind of mid. Mr. Fantastic, I'm putting up here. Simply because they buffed his big form to where now you can heal him in his big form instead of just bonus health. And now you can go straight to the shift out of that. He's situational as well, because if you play him with 2 other tanks, it feels like you're playing triple tank. But he doesn't do that much damage. At least not that much single target damage. Because if you sweep, you can hit the whole team, but no one on the team is taking a lot of damage from that. Whereas Venom, Groot, Strange, Emma, Mag, Thor, Penny sometimes. They all do more single target damage, so where it feels like you're playing with 3 tanks because of his insane survivability, you're kind of playing worse version of 3 tanks, because I would much rather have Emma Mag Groot than Emma Mag Fantastic or Emma Mag Venom. Like, there's a lot of combinations where I would prefer 3 tanks over 2 of those tanks and a Fantastic. But I don't think he's bad, and I think, especially because I had to do my placement matches and it put me super low and I had to climb out of the very, very low ranks, he kind of sweeps down there. I've had people play him, and then I look at their accounts afterwards because I went, wow, they were doing really good. They pretty much never died, but it was just, they played Mr. Fantastic for 2 hours total, lifetime. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you're playing him because of the buffs, and they don't really know what to do about it. But as I get higher, I see less and less of him, and when I see him, they eventually swap off. They'll use it to like stall point or for first push. They play him for his survivability, but if he's not really getting the job done because he's not getting a lot of kills outside of his ultimate, then they just swap off. And I think I think he's fine in that position. Like Squirrel Girl, like Wanda, he can't be the best character in the game, or he will absolutely romp low ranks as well, and it won't be fun for any of them. That being said, I think he's a dog water. I always thought he was bad, even when he was good. At my ranks, you would never really see anyone who was just that guy who could really do it. And this season it's gotten worse, because in the past seasons, even when people said he was bad or when they said he was good, I would at least see people play him, and they would do a lot of damage and get a lot of kills. Even if they didn't have a lot of final hits, they were doing something. And now I don't even see him, and when I do see him, it's for like one fight. They'll get absolutely slaughtered, and then they get off. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have an opinion. I think Phoenix is A tier. They tried to make Phoenix better at long range, I think, with the fall off reduction, but didn't really work, because why would I play Phoenix long range? I could just play Hela, right? And I thought, unless they're playing Rocket or Penny, people with those with things that you need to destroy, Rocket, Namor, Penny, Loki, because it resets all of his clones, I don't really see the need to play a Phoenix. Just in theory, you should just play Hela, get more kills, do more damage. I used to like Phoenix design-wise because they were better in mid-range than Hela was. Hela was way better long-range, Phoenix is better mid-range, but then they took away that the melee got you Spark. That's what the little thing at the top of their health is called. That no longer gives you sparks, which means it's just worse Hela with explosions. But Hela already has explosions on kills, and now Hela has the Namor team up where she gets squids on kills too, and so it's just, why would you play Phoenix? You could just play Hela. Blade, I'm putting B tier, though realistically, when you look at the numbers and when I take him in the practice range, he's probably A tier. I just don't see anyone play him, and when I see them play him, they're never any good, or at least stat-wise and in the fights. It doesn't feel like the Blade on my team or their team is really doing anything. They're just kind of there, adding damage, shooting their gun, sometimes using the sword, but the sword doesn't have enough lifesteal to keep them up, given the healing reduction that they get. And so they end up swapping off, or they just don't feel like they're doing anything. I feel like that they're not doing anything, especially if I'm on tank and I'm on the front line. I don't see anyone die. That was from them. So realistically, they're probably higher than this, but I can't really find out why in my own games. And then Daredevil. He's Daredevil. He hasn't been nerfed. He was super strong last season. He's still super strong. And I don't know why he wasn't nerfed. He's like permabanned almost every single game. We'll be playing Penny and Emma. We'll have selected Penny, Emma, Hela, Namor. and my team will ban him. I'm like, I don't know if that's necessary. So I barely see any. I think the best way to equate it is Daredevil is like old Black Panther, where he was permabanned almost every single game, but you never really knew because they had to have a good one. They had to have a good Daredevil in order to play, in order to for that to be really matter. But you couldn't take the chance because if they had a good Black Panther, then and it wasn't banned, then you just kind of lost the game. That's how I think Daredevil is, but I honestly never really get to see him. And when I do, he's on my team and he's tearing it up. So I think he's S tier. I think he's really good. I've seen a lot of other people say he's S tier. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments about all of them. And have a great day. Wet Willy.